What if I told you a promise made thousands of years ago in a legendary epic was still being kept? Like every single night inside one of the most sacred temples on Earth. Yeah, today we're diving into this incredible, centuries-old mystery. It's a story that really blurs the line between myth and, well, a documented encounter. And it all revolves around an immortal king and one very, very special golden armlet.
All right, so to get to the heart of this, we've got to go to a specific place. We're in the ancient coastal city of Puri in India. This is the home of the world-famous Jagannath Temple, which, is one of the foremost sacred pilgrimage sites in all of Hinduism. A huge deal.
But we're not just looking at the place, we're looking at a very specific time. We're going back over 200 years, to one single fateful night in 1810. This was the night a secret tradition, something hidden for ages, was suddenly dragged into the light.
So picture this. It's late. The head priest of the temple, a man named Pattajoshi Mahapatra, has just finished up. He's done with the final, closing rituals for the day, and he's walking home all by himself through these dark, quiet streets. And then, suddenly, he gets this feeling, an immense, almost overwhelming presence right there with him. He is absolutely not alone, and whoever, or whatever, is waiting for him in those shadows, well, that's the key to this whole incredible story.
Okay, so to figure out who this mysterious visitor was, we actually need to rewind. And I mean rewind a lot. We're talking thousands of years, all the way back to the time of one of the great epics, and a choice that would literally echo through eternity.
So, in the epic story of the Ramayana, you've got these two super powerful brothers. You've got Ravana, the famous demon king of Lanka, huge power, huge ego. And then you have his brother, Vibhisana. Now, Vibhisana could have gone down that same path, but he didn't. He chose something else entirely. He chose a path of righteousness, of pure devotion to Lord Rama. And get this, he stuck to it, even when it meant he had to go against his own family.
And this is the part you really got to remember. After Ravana is defeated, Vibhisana becomes the new king of Lanka. But his story doesn't just stop there, when the book closes. He becomes an immortal king. And the one thing that defines him, above all else, is this undying, heartfelt devotion to Lord Rama.
All right, Section 2, a devotion across millennia. We're talking about an unbroken promise here. A promise that people believe is stretched all the way through the ages, right into our world today.
And this is where it all connects back to the temple in Puri. There's this incredible local belief, right? The devotees are convinced that Vibhisana, this immortal king, travels all the way from his kingdom in Lanka to the Jagannath temple every single night. Why? Just so he can be there for the very last ritual of the day, the Pahuda Arati.
Just look at the time scale here. It's mind-boggling. It all starts way, way back with a vow made during the time of the Ramayana. Then, for literally thousands of years, this act of devotion keeps happening, but it's completely unseen. A secret pilgrimage. And then, bam! We hit 1810, the night that this secret celestial journey finally gets revealed.
Okay, on to Section 3, the divine golden armlet. So now we're back on that dark street in 1810 with our priest, Pattajoshi Mahapatra. Because this is the moment where an ancient belief supposedly leaves behind actual physical proof, something tangible, something you can hold.
So, the story goes that the whole encounter happened in 3 parts. First, the priest feels that intense, definitely not human presence, and he calls that into the dark. Second, this enormous figure appears and says who he is, Vibhisana, visiting from a celestial realm. And then third, to prove this wasn't just a dream, to prove who he was, he offers the priest a gift, a token.
And what was this proof? What could possibly convince the priest that this encounter was real? The giant figure offered him one single thing, an extraordinary golden armlet. And this is the object that takes this story from just a belief and anchors it to a specific historical moment. And this is really why the story has held on for so long. I mean, think about it. First, it was supposedly a direct gift from an immortal king. Second, and this is huge, it was way too big for any normal person to wear, which just points to how massive this visitor must have been. And maybe the most incredible part, they say the priest's family still has it. It's still preserved by them even today.
Okay, last section, a legend's living legacy. Because this story isn't just some dusty old tale, right? It's a living legend, and it still has a huge impact. So the question is, why?
why does this particular story stick around so powerfully?
Well, its impact is pretty massive when you break it down. For starters, it gives the temple this incredible mystical vibe, right? It suggests that this isn't just a building, it's a place where divine things are actually happening. It also just hammers home that idea of timeless faith, a promise so strong that thousands of years can't break it. And finally, for people who hear it, it's just this incredible inspiration, a reminder of what true spiritual commitment can look like.
And really, that's the heart of it all, isn't it? It's this powerful story that says faith isn't bound by time and that sometimes divine grace can reach right across the centuries to make itself known.
Which kind of leaves us with one last really fascinating question to chew on. When you have a story like this, one that's backed up by generations of oral history and supposedly a real physical object, where do you draw the line? Where does faith end and history begin?